Hello, Eric here, back with another video, and we are back in Solstice Tavern, which means we are playing with the Megacade, and I'm so happy to be back and doing that. This video is going to be awesome. We're going to be modding the Megacade in a couple different ways today. I have got some new artwork here from my man Endgame, and I'll show you that and where that's going to go and how to apply that and whatnot. But this is what we're playing with today. These are authentic Euro IL joysticks. I want to put these on the Megacade. What I have are some IL knockoff. I always thought they felt a little bit weird, but I thought maybe I just didn't remember how ILs felt. Talking to a couple of the arcade folks, I got the idea that I might not have authentic ILs in there, and it turns out I don't. We have some here, and I'm gonna take out those, and I'm gonna show you guys the differences between the knockoffs and the real ones, and I'll show you guys how to do that. I'm sure it's super easy. So you just saw me install one of the authentic IL Euros, and this is the knockoff that I pulled out. And I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the differences and why they matter. So this is a real one, this is a real IL Euro, and this is a knockoff. And I'll show you some of the key differences here. Some of the obvious ones, it may not show up on camera, but the quality of the plastic that's actually used on the joystick is different. Yeah, it's not really showing up other than this one might be a little bit more shiny, which is the authentic one. But in person, you can feel the difference as you're holding the joysticks. Another thing that's different is the base plastic on the authentic one is slightly thinner. It's a higher quality plastic. This one is thicker, the knockoff is thicker. If we turn it around, there's a little bit of a different story here. And I will show you some key differences and things that are gonna matter if you're playing games. One thing that is a huge plus for me when swapping over to the authentic ones is the sound. So this is the knockoff and this is the authentic. It's much quieter, right? Yeah, so that's a huge deal to me because you guys know I'm all about sound as far as keyboards and whatnot. But there's more differences here. This is the knockoff, and as you can see, the switches are here, and the switch brand is Bao Long. I think that's a surefire way to tell if it's a knockoff or not. The other thing is that this is black, whereas on the authentic one, it is white. If you look, there's actually little metal pieces over the switch actuation portion. So and this is why I think hitting diagonals on authentics is easier. So if I do this, I'm pressing up and it's compressing that switch. But if I want to hit a diagonal, that's it. It's just that. It's like a hair, and it's hitting the diagonal. So if I don't want to hit that diagonal, it's very easy to accidentally hit that diagonal because of these metal things that are on top of the switches here. Now, I don't know how it operates without those, but I'm sure they put them there for a reason. On the authentic, you can see there are no metal levers in there. If I press up, then I can move it over a lot more before I hit that diagonal, which means I have to actually really intend to hit a diagonal to get it. And I think that is why control is a bit better on the authentics than it is the knockoffs. They weigh about the same, and honestly, it would be hard to tell, but that sound, there's a huge difference. The other thing that is different, the knockoff actually, you have to move the stick just a lot more off center than you do the authentic one. Built for precision, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, all that stuff, I feel like it's gonna be easier to move with this. Whereas this is the knockoff and just doesn't feel as high quality. Where did I get these? So these are authentic IL Euros, and these come from tmolding.com. They have tons of arcade accessories there, not just T-molding. My boy Scantron actually has a promo code there, Scantron5K. If you put it in that promo code, you save yourself 5%. I'll put a link to the description down below for that. Get yourself some authentic IL Euros if you are building an arcade at home. If you are used to Japanese arcades or arcades that were imported from Japan, then then you're gonna wanna go with Sanwas, and that's a completely different experience. Sanwas are definitely something you have to get used to if you're not used to that. If you are used to Sanwas, then IL Euros aren't gonna feel very good. If you grew up in arcades in the 80s or 90s here in the US, chances are you used IL Euros, so that's what you're gonna wanna get. I would avoid these knockoffs. I don't even know where to order these knockoffs. These just came with my system, and I'm actually very disappointed in them, and I'm happy that I'm swapping them out. All right, guys, so we got the joysticks done. I'll show you what it looks like when it's complete. But before we do that, we're gonna replace the art. I'm down below my control panel right now. As you can see, this is the art we put on before. Beautifully done. In-game Arcades did this for me, and it looks amazing. But something that's always been an eyesore for me, this yellow circle with this weird Chun-Li picture in there. I mean, if you look, her hand is just awkward. It's weird. The yellow doesn't really fit with the rest of the theme. We've got clouds down here. This fits perfectly. The side art is very different than this. The control panel art is very different. This was always just an eyesore. Of course, this is the LED neon ring that lights up, but this art I've wanted to replace from the beginning. As I was discussing this with some friends, Mr. Dantron69K came through with another brilliant idea. And if you guys don't already know, he was the idea behind this as well. Not the design of it, but the idea of having a character select screen right here, which actually works out really, really nice. I love it. But he had another idea, and he was like, hey, you're in Solstice Tavern. That's where your arcade is. Why not do something here, Solstice Tavern related, to tie the cabinet in with the bar? My mind was blown. You know, he's the idea guy for a reason. He comes up with these brilliant ideas. Thank you, Dantron. Mr. In-Game Arcade, and with the help of my wife, they kind of designed and hashed things out and came up with this beautiful piece of art here. To kind of tie things together, we have got this circle, which is actually the moon. If you look really closely, it says Solstice Tavern. It says established 2021, which is when we built the bar. And it says a time to pause, relax, and wander. And that's exactly what we want to do in Solstice Tavern. I'm really happy he also did it in the correct colors to not only fit with the arcade, but fit with the rest of Solstice Tavern, as you can see up there where it says Solstice Tavern. So I love it. Why is this square? Because on the back of this, it's actually a square panel. So I'm gonna remove this, and then we're gonna remove this art, and we're gonna put the new art in. All right, so this is what it looks like with that art out of the hole right there. This is the art here. It's decent quality. So basically what this is gonna do is this is just gonna go in place of it, just like that. I don't know that I actually want to cover it up though. I would rather take it off. I'm probably gonna have to take it off. Luckily, I've got kind of the outline of where the old art was, so that should make it easy to kind of put this in the same place. All right, so I was able to apply it, and I got out most of the wrinkles, so it should be okay. Looks pretty good. I hope it's centered. Now we can set this just right on top of the art, and we should be ready to go in. All right, now that we have the control panel up, the first thing that I'm going to do is disconnect the wires. Now, in hindsight, it's probably better to remove the nuts for the screws before you disconnect the wires. And you really, really want to label your wires for this. I didn't, and I wish I had, because then it would have made it much easier. I could have fully removed the old joystick and just put the new joystick in and not have to commit to memory where the actual wires went. As you can see, see as I move forward with this install, I kind of plug in the wires as I'm going. That is so I don't lose track of where they actually plug in. It's not a huge deal if you lose track of it, but you will have to remap things if you don't remember. Another thing to make note of is that my joysticks to the far left and to the far right, that's players 3 and player 4, these are installed vertically. Whereas the joysticks in the middle, player 1 and player 2, those are installed horizontally, and it's probably the same if you've got an arcade cabinet that is using these knockoff Euro ILs. But basically, yes, all I'm doing here is I'm disconnecting the ground wires and the red wires from each of the micro switches on the joysticks, and I'm just taking them off the old ones and putting them onto the new ones. I'm only really going to show the installation or swap of one joystick because they're all essentially the same thing. There are four bolts holding each joystick in place, and since these were Euro IL knockoffs already, my bolt configuration is already set up for the authentic IL Euros, so I didn't have to worry about drilling new holes or anything like that. Right here you can see that I'm taking the screwdriver and I'm trying to remove the C-clip that's on the end of the joystick there. There it is. That's the C-clip, and there's a similar C-clip on the authentic IL Euros as well. That's what allows you to slide the joystick out, and that's what allows you to replace a dust cover if you want to put a new dust cover on there. And here I'm just going to use my socket to remove the bolt, because on top there is no screw head, it's just like a rivet top, so it's just easier to use a socket and pull the bolt off from the other side. These are tight, but they don't need to be that tight. Just a little bit tighter than hand tight would probably be good. You don't want to warp the plastic or anything like that. Alright, and I'm just going to continue forward and removing the rest of the nuts for each of these, and then you'll see I'll be able to pull the joystick out, and then we can move forward with installing the new one. Alright, now that the old joystick has been removed, I can put the new one in its place. I will have to remove the stick from the base in order to install it, because it will not slide in through that hole up there, and that's done on purpose. Right here, I'm just installing the wires back in the place that they're supposed to be and trying to make sure that they're tight. Sometimes these little clips can get a little loose, especially if you're messing around underneath your control panel all the time. These can get loose, so you might need to take a pair of pliers and squeeze them back down onto the micro switches. For this install, I didn't necessarily need to do that, but I just wanted to make sure that these were nice and tight so that, you know, if player 3 needs to have accurate controls, they have them. Here I'm going to remove the C-clip off of the new authentic Euro IL. These C-clips are actually easier to take off than they are on the knockoffs. Now that the C-clip is removed, I can take the joystick shaft out and the dust cover, and then we can just slide the base right into place where the old one was. Alright, now that it's in place, it's just a matter of retightening those nuts down and making sure that they're just a little bit tighter than hand tight, and so that everything is held secure. Once you've done one of these joystick replacements, it's very easy to do the other 3 because it's essentially just repeating the same procedure. Guys, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe down at the bottom, and if you would like to get some of these authentic IL Euros for yourself, check out tmolding.com and use the promo code Scantron5K to get a 5% discount. It's really awesome, and my man Scantron, that's his code. Check out his channel as well. All of that is linked down below. Thank you for joining me for this video, and I hope you enjoyed. See you on the next one.